Out of the corner of your eye, you see a silent shadow moving across the living room while you're headed to the restroom. It silently follows as you walk through the house, watching your every move from below. It won't leave you alone, even when you want a quiet moment to yourself seated on the toilet. But the critter following you around isn't a cat or a dog. It isn't a toddler that's crawling around your feet. It's a Roomba, a robot vacuum cleaner that was made to make your life easier, right? Little do you know, this Roomba is actually hiding an evil secret, spying on your every movement. In December 2022, MIT Technology Review published a scandalous exposé revealing how the humdrum routine of people's everyday life from the privacy of inside their homes were posted all over social media without their consent. One of the images captured a compromising moment, a woman using the toilet in her bathroom. Another showed a child sprawled on the ground, his face fully visible. More photos showed people's pets and the inside of their houses, with furniture and decorations outlined with descriptive labels like cabinet, chair, and ceiling fan. It's kind of like how I see the world. But how could total strangers have access to images of someone's private residence? The photos in this leak weren't taken by people, but by a robot living inside their homes, specifically recorded by a beta version of iRobot's Roomba J7, a robot vacuum cleaner. If you haven't encountered a robot vacuum before, these convenient little devices automatically leave their charging station to suck up dirt around the house, cleaning surfaces without you having to lift a finger, then go back to self-empty and recharge for its next run. Robot vacuums have many advanced features, but the most important is to identify obstacles in their way so that they don't end up bashing into your furniture or walls. So they map inside your home to acquaint themselves with the layout and detect what's around itself while going about its cleaning. Which is why the specific model of Roomba had a camera on its casing, and where problems began. The Roombas in select people's homes were not only vacuuming up dust while collecting data, but also taking footage that was sent out. The people who were recorded by the Roombas were beta testers, people who use test products and supply the company with feedback on the user experience. In exchange, they were to receive compensation. But was it worth the invasion of privacy? Speaking of data privacy, we'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Aura. If you're concerned about your online data, you're not alone. Ever stumbled upon your own private details online, such as your email or phone number? In today's world, data is a valuable asset, and data brokers trade your info with those pesky robocallers and spammers. They're legally required to remove your information if you ask them to, but make you jump through hoops, which is how Aura can help. Aura identifies where your information is being exposed and submit opt-out requests on your behalf so that you don't have to do all the legwork. Get an alert immediately when there's suspicious activity on any of your financial assets, online accounts, or personal data. Aura combines internet security app features including password management, antivirus, identity theft insurance, and more, so you don't have to pay for several different apps. Get a 2-week free trial of Aura with our link in the description at aura.com/brew to keep you and your family safe online. iRobot, who is the biggest seller of robotic vacuums in the world, admits that their Roombas capture these pictures and recordings, but claims that specific model used with beta testers had features that have never been included on consumer products. According to their statement, all beta testers had signed agreements acknowledging their data streams may be sent to the company as part of the training process. The beta vacuum model also allegedly had a sticker warning that recording may be happening, and that the users consented to let the Roombas record them. The company claimed that it was the data collector's duty to make sure that the robot wasn't around any sensitive or private information, and that the workers responsible for data labeling were the ones who violated their contract. The beta tester's agreement form contains acknowledgement of image capturing and encouragement to not expose sensitive material to the robot, but the sections about user data protection were vague at best. One user, Greg, has been testing products for 10 years and understands that he consented to being monitored but doesn't believe he agreed to his data being shared in a global data supply chain. The raw footage the robot vacuums had captured could have been sent to any number of data annotating platforms for labeling. The 15 images that got public attention, for example, were sent to Scale AI, a third-party company that iRobot had contracted, who have workers around the world that manually label audio, photo, and video data to train artificial intelligence. Data labeling is tedious and repetitive work, but it's a growing industry. According to Grandview Research, the market size was valued at $2.22 billion in 2022 and is expected to surge a whopping 28.9% by 2030 due to the technology being adopted in more industries ranging from social media to self-driving cars. A group of data labeling workers for Scale AI in Venezuela posted screenshots on an online group where they could chat about work, which led to the outcry from beta users. Even though participants agreed that their data could be used for machine learning, the guideline did not explain that this machine learning training was done by other humans across the globe. After images were leaked on social media, beta testers, upset with how iRobot handled their data, came forward with their complaints. The users felt misled about their extent of what they were agreeing to, and their privacy violated. While iRobot pointed out that no customer data was shared and highlighted the difference between consumers of the end product and beta testers, this stance further confused the unhappy testers, who felt that they are part of the larger market of customers and that this viewpoint is dismissive of their concerns. But regardless of whether they agreed that information could be shared, the users never consented or expected for the images to go on social media. Even if the beta model had features that the consumer Roombas didn't, people still have other privacy concerns with these devices. The internal mapping capabilities that advanced robot vacuums have can learn the floor plan of the home they're in with LiDAR technology, and can remember up to 10 floor plans so that they don't collide with walls. Some models have low-resolution cameras to help with this and avoid bumping into objects. These privacy concerns were thrown into the spotlight when iRobot was acquired by online retail giant Amazon in August 2022. And, understandably, a company known for gathering as much information as they can about their customers was foreboding for experts. In an interview with Wired, Evan Greer, director of the nonprofit digital rights organization Flight for the Future, said, "People tend to think of Amazon as an online seller company, but really, Amazon is a surveillance company. That is the core of its business model, and what drives its monopoly power and profit. Acquiring a company that's essentially built on mapping the inside of people's homes seems like a natural extension of the surveillance reach that Amazon already has." In a series of tweets, Ron Knox, a senior tech researcher and writer at the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, explained why he thought it may be the most dangerous, threatening acquisition in the company's history. With its acquisition of iRobot, Amazon would get so much more: a rival product, a vast data set, and a new way into people's homes and lives. This is how privacy concerns and antitrust go hand in hand. Some people who are less concerned about their privacy argue that their home layout is public information already, whether it's on real estate websites or city planning. But there are more things that can be revealed with the information gleaned from an internal house plan. Using the robot vacuums, Amazon could get details such as home size, which implies income level, daily routines, and lifestyle information. The company could figure out if the home has a crib or a dog bed, then focus targeted advertisements including baby products or dog toys to the user. There were also questions that came up concerning where else the information goes, and how long it would be kept for. In addition to watching you, people worried that robot vacuums may also be listening to you. A team of researchers from the University of Maryland tested how valid these concerns are by remotely hacking into a robot vacuum to collect audio. The device was not meant to have this function, but the team was able to collect information from its navigation system, which uses LiDAR technology and applied signal processes and deep learning techniques to recover speech. They were able to identify a TV series playing in the same room as the vacuum, as well as a human voice speaking out numbers with 90% accuracy. This means that any device with light detection technology can be made to collect sound. Other users were concerned about whether the Roomba's camera could be hacked, since viewing the footage for other brands of robot vacuums is possible. And a Redditor claiming to be a beta tester revealed that live streaming was one of the features they were able to test out. posting the camera footage and some stills. So, are robot vacuums just the tip of the iceberg? Well, considering the amount of ways that user data is collected, Amazon's iRobot isn't the only security flaw you can invite into your home. In 2020, multiple class action lawsuits were filed against Amazon after users were made aware that their in-home Ring smart cameras were hacked. Hackers were recorded talking through the camera's speakers to the users in some scary incidents. A family in Cape Coral was subjected to slurs, while another woman in Connecticut was taunted to respond to the hacker who infiltrated multiple cameras in her house. In another household, a Texas couple went through an incident where the hacker asked for $350,000 in Bitcoin. Children were also targeted. A 13-year-old boy was followed throughout his home through multiple Ring cameras, while an 8-year-old girl suddenly heard a voice claiming to be Santa Claus and saying, "I'm your best friend."
Who is that?
I'm your best friend.
So, what happens now with the Roombas? Colin Angle, iRobot's CEO, made a statement explaining, iRobot is terminating its relationship with the service provider who leaked the images, is actively investigating the matter, and taking measures to help prevent a similar leak by any service provider in the future. While these claims may offer some reassurance to customers, many of the complainants were disappointed, as they did not get to keep their test devices or receive the final products as they were promised while signing up to the beta test program. Instead, they received gift cards ranging from $30 to $120 as compensation for running the device in their homes many times a week for several weeks. Whether it was worth it, considering that testers were unknowingly sharing their personal data every day for months, is debatable. It wasn't. With the increasing reliance on smart devices in our daily lives, it's essential that steps are taken to protect user data. A more proactive approach to user privacy could be a solution. Measures could include increased transparency around data collection and usage, regular security audits, and more robust data processing agreements when it involves third-party companies. In the end, it's up to companies like iRobot to clean up their act and ensure products are safe and secure for users. However, as consumers, we should also consider our personal privacy and how our data is used when selecting devices for our homes. After all, we don't want to be left in the dust when it comes to protecting our privacy. Based on our last video, we put a poll on Twitter asking, would you want to live to be 111 years old if it meant you had to spend the last 30 years of your life alone? Most of you said no, unlike the 111-old man in our last video who, according to his family, locked himself in his room for 30 years, meditating until he was mummified alive.